One that I know people are going to be angry at me for. Please don't hate me. Hey guys, my name is Lucy and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here today, please do consider smashing that subscribe button. It honestly would mean so much to me if you were to subscribe to my channel. And if you enjoyed this video, please do smash a big thumbs up to let me know. Now, for today's video, I am going to be ranking and rating your guys' favourite musicals. I asked you guys over on my Instagram to send in your favourite musicals and oh my gosh, you guys sent so many. I'm very concerned this video is going to be so long. So I'm going to make this intro nice and short. Just a quick disclaimer, I love basically all musicals. So if I put your favourite musical in the bottom tier, it doesn't really mean I don't like it. It's just of the bunch, it's maybe not my favourite. So yeah, I don't want to offend anyone with my choices here. It's just meant to be a little bit of fun. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so I've got my tier system up on my laptop. I'm going to pop it over here somewhere. My top tier is the elite tier. These are my ride or die. Yes, queen, they're the best musicals ever. You win. The next one is Love It. So musicals I am obsessed with, but they're not quite good enough to make it into the elite tier. Then we've got meh. I don't really feel one way or the other about it. It doesn't particularly offend me, but it's not really a favourite of mine. Then we've got slightly jarring. Honestly, jarring is one of my favourite words. I just think it describes that feeling of like, ugh, so well. So yeah, if a musical is slightly jarring, it's gonna go in this one, but I don't hate it. And then we've got No Thank You. That is one that I would rather not watch or listen to. Let's get started. First up, we've got The Addams Family. Now, I feel like people think I should love this musical because obviously Lucy Adams, but for me, it's just a bit meh. I'm not that bothered either way. I did really love it when I watched it at Erdang, and I had watched it once before as well, but it's just not a musical that if I saw come back, I'd be like, I need to see it again. So Addams Family is gonna go in the meh category. Next up, we've got Aladdin. Now, I saw Aladdin when it was on in the West End, and I really thought I wasn't gonna like it, but it wasn't bad. I mean, obviously, of course it wasn't bad. The people in it are incredible, and it's a very good show, but just personally to my taste, it's not my favorite, so it's gonna go in this slightly jarring category. Now we have got 9 to 5. Now, I watched this in the West End when Amber Davies was in it, and oh my gosh, I thought it was incredible. I really thought I wasn't gonna like it, but I absolutely loved it, so this has to go in the love it category. Next up, we've got Anastasia, which actually I haven't watched because it's not come to the West End yet, which is really sad. I have listened to the soundtrack though religiously and watched so many clips of it online. I'm really torn on this one. Part of me wants to put it in the elite tier because My Petersburg is quite possibly my favourite musical theatre song ever. I feel it can't quite make the elite tier yet because I've not seen it. For now, we're going to put it in Love It. Okay, next up, we've got another one which I saw in the West End, and that is Anne Juliet. It was actually the last West End musical I saw before everything closed for lockdown. I really thought this was just going to be a bit meh, but actually it is such a good show, and I thought the songs are going to be really cringe and not really be my vibe, but it's actually brilliant, so this has to go in the love it category. Okay, next up we have Billy Elliot. Now, there's a bit of a story with this one. So Billy Elliot, I'm pretty sure, was the first musical I ever saw. My parents took me to see it. They took me down to London, and I apparently just cried the whole way through because I was scared, because apparently Billy Elliot is scary. Apparently I wasn't happy that they were swearing. It's gonna have to go in the no thank you category. Next up, we have The Book of Mormon. I actually saw The Book of Mormon on my 20th birthday on the West End in London, and we were literally the 3rd row. My mum and dad really spoiled me. The tickets were absolutely incredible, and this show is so funny. It is actually genius, so this has to go in the love it category. Next up, we've got Cats. Oh, I don't know how I feel about Cats. Cats is slightly jarring, I think. I think that is the way to describe it. I think it's incredible and the dance in it is phenomenal, but it just slightly offends me that it doesn't have a storyline. I actually love a lot of the songs in Cats, which I know a lot of people don't. I think a lot of them are really good. The Rum Tum Tugger is just the best ever. Like, I think that's such a fun song. Obviously, the movie would go in absolutely no thank you, never again. But for the actual musical, it's gonna go in slightly jarring because I don't hate it, but Okay, the next one has to go in no thank you, and that is Chicago. I know a lot of people are probably gonna be shocked by this, but I feel this is again because of a personal experience. I saw Chicago when it came to Dubai, and it was in like the most horrendous venue. It was in the World Trade Center, which is like a conference center. They'd set up this stage. The stage was tiny, the audience section was huge. It just really was not the best production, so I feel like that has tainted my views on Chicago. But for me, it's gonna have to go in no thank you, but hopefully I can see Chicago in the future and my mind can be changed. Okay, next up, I think we have the first one ready for the elite tier, and that is Come From Away. Isn't Come From Away just one of the best musicals ever? I've seen it 3 times now, maybe twice. 3 times? Unsure. But it's insane. I absolutely love it. The story's incredible, the music's incredible, the acting's incredible. Oh my gosh, I can't rate it enough. If you guys can, when it reopens, go and see it. It is phenomenal. So that is the first one into the elite tier. Congratulations, Come From Away, you have made it. Okay, next up we have Company. I actually again saw Company when it was on the West End with Rosalie Craig, and I am obsessed with Rosalie Craig. She is just insane, and this production was amazing. Now I know it was a gender swapped version of it, so I haven't really seen the original Company, so I'm going off what I saw. For this one, I'm torn. Does it go in elite or does it go in love it? I feel like it can't quite, maybe it can make elite. I did love it, and I did listen to it religiously after it. Okay, it's gonna go in elite because Rosalie Craig is elite, and that production was absolutely elite. It was phenomenal. Okay, the next one is Curtains. I was very surprised when this came up as someone's favorite musical. Not in a bad way. I just didn't really think it was a hugely popular musical, and I didn't expect it to be anyone's favorite as per se, but I mean, go you for having a non-mainstream favorite musical. I again saw Curtains when it was in the West End. I got really cheap tickets for it actually. For me, it's just a bit meh. I wouldn't really say it's slightly jarring, like it doesn't really offend me in any way. It was just a bit of a, I wouldn't rush to see it again sort of situation. So Curtains is gonna go in meh. Next up, we have another elite one, guys, and I'm sure most of you are gonna agree with me, and that is Dear Evan Hansen. I remember we bought our tickets for Dear Evan Hansen around 8 months in advance or something crazy like that for it coming to the West End. We were literally at the back on the top level, peering over the edge, but it was still incredible. I bawled my eyes out. It is a phenomenal show, so that has to go in the elite tier. Okay, the next is Evita. Now, again, I'm kind of torn on Evita because I wouldn't say I love it. I saw it in Dubai when it was the international tour from the UK, I think, came to Dubai. It was an incredible show, but I wouldn't say it goes up there with like Anastasia and Book of Mormon and stuff for me. I feel it is gonna have to go in meh. If I had a like it category, it would probably go in there, but in this tier system, it's probably gonna have to go in meh. Oh, I've got pins and needles. Okay, next up we have got falsettos. Now, I actually hadn't listened to falsettos apart from like I'd heard people sing Breaking Down until I saw it at the Other Palace. Maybe that's like 1.5 years, nearly 2 years ago now. I swear in these corona times, all the timeline of my life has just got confused and I don't know how many years it's been since this has all been happening. But I saw falsettos at the Other Palace, and honestly, after seeing it, I was obsessed with the soundtrack, and I still kind of am. My favorite is We're sitting and watching Jason play baseball, we're watching Jason play baseball, we're watching Jewish boy who cannot play baseball. I think that's such a bop. So for me, I think falsettos is gonna have to go in Love It. It's a great show. Wow, the Love It category is getting very full. Next up, we have another one which is gonna have to go in Love It. Yeah, I don't think it can quite make it to elite. I'm really torn, and that's 42nd Street. I love 42nd Street. I think it's an insane show. I actually also love the music. I know a lot of people don't like the music, but I think it's great. I saw it on the West End twice, and it is just phenomenal. As much as I want to put it in elite, it can't quite match up to Company, Come From Away, and Dear Evan Hansen. 42nd Street doesn't quite fit in there, so we're gonna have to go with Love It. Now we've got Fiddler on the Roof, again, which one I was surprised that you guys said was your favorite. I saw Fiddler on the Roof when it was at the, oh my gosh, what's that theatre called? The Playhouse Theatre? Yeah, the Playhouse Theatre, and we had the worst seats ever. Basically, there's a running theme here. We don't pay a lot of money for our theatre tickets because we would rather see loads of shows for less money in bad seats than just see one in amazing seats. So yeah, we really had quite a horrendous view. For me, it's just not my favorite kind of musical, and it's no discredit to the actual show itself. It's obviously an incredible show, but for me, it's just not my personal taste. So that's just gonna go in meh because it didn't offend me. It's not really for me. Next up, we have got Ghost. I don't really like Ghost, if I'm being completely honest. It's just a bit too doom and gloom for me. So it's gonna have to go in slightly jarring. I know people are gonna hate me for that. I'm really sorry. Next up, we've got Grease. Now, I feel this has to go in Love It. Grease is just an iconic musical, and yeah, there's nothing really else to say. I love it. And kind of the same with the next one, but Hairspray, could that be pushed into Elite? I think Hairspray has to go in Elite. It has been a ride or die musical from a very young age, and obviously all the songs are bops. Hairspray, congratulations, you've made it into the Elite tier. Well done. Next up, we have Hamilton. Of course, Hamilton has to go in the Elite tier. No questions asked. I'm sure we all agree there. Now, one that I know people are going to be angry at me for, and that is Heathers. Heathers for me, it's just not for me, really. I have to be honest, I didn't see it in the West End. I have listened to it and watched loads of bits of it on YouTube. It's just not one of my favourite musicals, so for me, it's gonna have to go in slightly jarring. There's just something about it for me that I would never choose to listen to it. It's actually a show that I would probably love to be in, but don't love listening to. Is that weird? Okay, anyway, we're gonna move on from that because I feel like people are gonna hate me and I'm really, really sorry. Next up, we've got Everybody's Talking About Jamie. This one came up so much. You guys are obsessed with this show, and obviously I'm sure you're all gonna be obsessed with the movie when it comes out. For me, this is gonna go in Love It. I know a lot of people actually don't like it. I feel Jamie either has people who are loving it or really are like, what is that? But for me, I actually had a great time watching it, and I think the soundtrack's really fun. I listened to it for quite a while, so that is gonna go in the Love It category. Next up, we've got Kinky Boots. I again saw this in the West End, and I actually had good seats for this one because I went with my parents, so it was amazing seats. I love this show. I think the soundtrack is great. It is so much fun, so it's gonna go in Love It. The Love It category is so big. This is the thing, guys, I just like most musicals, so I can't really put many of them in the lower categories. Next up, we've got The Last 5 Years. This is an incredible show. I actually saw it at the Southwark Playhouse where they did like an actor muso version of it. So the two actors actually played the piano as well as performing the whole show, which was just absolutely phenomenal. So for me, The Last 5 Years has to go in Love It. Next up, we have got Legally Blonde. Now, I was just never someone that was obsessed with Legally Blonde, which I feel is probably quite surprising for me. I don't know why. It's just never a show that I've really had the opportunity to truly invest myself in and get to love it. So for me, it's just gonna have to go in meh because it doesn't really reach up to the other ones that are in that Love It category for me. Next up, we've got Les Mis. Of course, this has to go in the Elite category. There is no question about it. It is phenomenal. Now we have The Lion King. Now I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen Lion King and I haven't decided to fork out the money to go and see it yet because it's just not a show that I'm sure I will love. I didn't love the Lion King movies. I know people are literally gonna hate me for this. So for me, it's just gonna go in meh because I don't hate it, but I don't love it. Next up, we've got Matilda. I again saw this on the West End. It's also just a bit meh. I love Miss Honey. I actually love Revolting Children. I think that is an incredible number. I would actually love to be in Matilda as part of the adult child ensemble, but as an actual show for me, it's just a little bit meh. Nothing particularly amazing to put it in the Love It category. Well, I'm really gonna need to get through these quicker because this video is long and we still have a lot to get through. Next up, we have got Mean Girls. Mean Girls for me is gonna have to go in Love It. Of course, I haven't seen it yet because it's not on the West End, but I love the soundtrack and please can I be Katie Haring one day? Thank you very much. Then we've got Thoroughly Modern Millie. You guys know if you watch my videos, no discussion in the Elite category. Now we've got Merrily We Roll Along. Again, one that I was shocked that came up as your favourite musicals, but I love that because Merrily is such an incredible show. I saw it when Erdang did it and I became super obsessed with the soundtrack. So Merrily is actually gonna go in Love It. Oh, the Love It category's got too big, it's extended. Now we've got one which is probably gonna lose me a friendship. If Isabella, you're watching this video, please just skip past this bit because you're gonna hate me. Miss Saigon for me is just gonna have to go in the meh category. I just don't love it, and that's that. I'm really sorry, Isabella, please don't hate me. Next up, Mamma Mia. We actually went to see this for Isabella's birthday last summer and it was amazing, so I'm actually gonna put it in Love It. I know that's a bit of a controversial opinion. A lot of people don't really think Mamma Mia is that great, but I absolutely love it and I especially love the movies. Now we've got Newsies. It's not really for me. I've listened to the soundtrack. I don't love it. I've watched a lot of it. The dancing's amazing, but for me as a musical, it's just slightly jarring. It's not really one of my faves. Then we've got Phantom of the Opera. I don't love Phantom of the Opera. I wouldn't say it's jarring. Like, there's nothing about it that offends me, but I'm just gonna put it in meh. Now we've got Pippin. Pippin for me is gonna have to go in slightly jarring. I've seen it twice, and both times I've seen it, I think it's an incredible show, but for me, it's just very confusing. Half the time I don't really know what's going on, and maybe that's just me being stupid, but even the second time I watched it, I came out and I was like, huh? So for me, it's gonna have to go in slightly jarring. Now we've got The Prom. Now, I feel like everyone's becoming obsessed with this because of the Netflix movie, although the Netflix movie has caused quite a lot of controversy. For me, The Prom is just gonna have to go in meh. Now we've got another Elite one, guys, and that is Shrek the Musical. I know people might think I'm crazy, but I love Shrek the Musical. I think the songs are amazing. I love that there's tap in it, and Sutton Foster Foster is just a queen, and she was obviously the original Fiona, and I would love to be Princess Fiona one day. So for me, that has to be elite. Now for 6, the musical. I know you guys will probably be obsessed with the show. For me, it's not quite elite, but it's definitely gonna go and love it. It's an amazing show. Now we have got Sunday in the Park with George. Oh, this show holds such a special place in my heart. It doesn't quite make it to elite for me because I've not seen it, but it's definitely in love it, and I feel like once I'm able to see it, which I did have tickets for it, but obviously it never happened because of Corona, but I think once I've seen it, it would move to elite, but for now it's just gonna have to go and love it. Now we've got Waitress. I actually saw Waitress 3 times when it was on the West End, unintentionally. It just kind of happened that different people wanted to see it and I went to see it with them. For me, it's actually gonna go and love it. I think it's a great show, really good music, and such a feel-good show as well. Now we've got Wicked. Of course, this has to go in the elite here. It is just incredible. I love Wicked so much. I literally could watch it every day of the week. And finally, we have got The Wild Party. For me, The Wild Party is actually gonna have to go in no thank you. It's just not really for me. I much prefer more upbeat, light, bright, happy musicals. So that is the end of my ranking and rating your favorite musicals. I do hope you guys have enjoyed this video. It was actually really fun to think back to shows that I've seen and what I thought of them. If you did enjoy this video, please do smash a big thumbs up to let me know, and also to let me know if you want me to do more ranking videos in the future. If you guys have any requests of videos you want to see, please do pop them down below. I always want to put out videos that you guys are going to enjoy. Also, if you haven't already, then please do subscribe to my channel to see my future videos, and I hope to see you very, very soon. Thanks for watching. Bye!